Welcome back. It's time to talk some national sports, and it's been a minute since we've talked about baseball in this national segment. So the second half of the season began yesterday. Figured why not talk some O's. Tonight we have MASN.com's Rock Kubako joining us. Thank you so much for taking the time with us tonight. Now, before we get to talking about the Orioles post-All-Star break, first, Jonathan Hughes, a second-rounder, did not sign with the O's and will attend Georgia Tech next season. Yes, they do get a 69th pick for the next year's draft, but could this still affect the O's in any way?
You know, we're talking about, a high school kid. He wasn't exactly going to be on the fast track to the majors anyway, so I don't think it really changes much. Some people thought it was a bit of a reach anyway to take him. Obviously, they liked him, or they wouldn't have worked him out of Camden Yards. They wouldn't have taken him, but you do get the 69th pick as compensation. So they signed, I believe it was 35 of 41 of their picks, which is pretty good. And, who knows how this kid would have turned out anyway.
Well, speaking of the Orioles' top pitching prospects, Pat Connaughton out of Notre Dame, viewed as a top 10 prospect in the Orioles organization, was selected 41st overall in the NBA draft back in June. Now, he is in pursuit of his basketball career. Now, the Orioles do have the rights of Connaughton over the next 5 years, but have you heard anything around the clubhouse about this fourth-round draft pick from the 2014 MLB draft?
Now, right now, they're just waiting to see what he's going to do. I mean, he was drafted and immediately traded to the Portland Trail Blazers. So his heart right now is in basketball and not baseball. That's very clear. And he wants to go ahead and exhaust all possibilities before he decides to commit fully to baseball. And the Orioles don't want him in the organization if he isn't fully committed to pitching for them. So they're going to go ahead and wait and see what happens in Portland. And if he makes it, great. And if he doesn't, he decides he wants to get back into baseball instead, full-time, exclusively, then the Orioles will gladly take him. But really, the ball, so to speak, the ball's in his court right now.
All right, well, a tough choice between two professional sports must be a tough life there. Now, getting back to the O's and what they'll have to do to make a playoff run with a big road trip coming up. They're on the road from now through July 26th. But if they can clean things up, do you think that the Birds could make a playoff run like they did last year?
I think they still can. I mean, they're 5 games out, which sounds terrible now because of where they were previously. They're certainly not out of it. I know there are a lot of fans clamoring, look, they may as well just go ahead and start trading away their pending free agents and plan for next year. And I think it's a little too soon, 1 game under 500 to do that. But, this road trip could decide a lot of that. I mean, if they end up just doing terribly the rest of the trip through Detroit, New York, which is in first place, and Tampa, then maybe that philosophy changes. And I think we'll have a better read on what they're going to do and how the season is going to unfold when they get back home.
Rock Kubako from MASN.com, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, Spencer, Trey, we've heard from the man himself, but what do you guys think about the Orioles and their playoff chances?
I'm getting a little, well, you should get nervous right now if you're an O's fan, and I'm not even an O's fan, so we're somewhere in between right there. I mean, looking at it, I'm just not sure. The pitching staff has not done nearly as well as what they expected right now. Even their ace, Ubaldo Edmonds, who kind of emerged at their ace so far this year, he got shelled the other night. Wei Yin Chen still holding it down all right for him, but there's not seemingly enough of a pitching staff right there. And the division, I'm not sold on anyone else. I think it's going to be up for grabs, but I couldn't promise you anything down the stretch. They'll just be in it, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we talked about it in the beginning of the year. We're not sure who their ace is. Those names you said are not true aces, and the only thing that's been good for the Orioles this year is the bullpen. The starting pitching has been a mess. High expectations for what happened last year, and they're just not getting it done right now. I'm not sure about playoffs.
Yeah, that lack of pitching is what you see, just up and down, up and down. So we'll see. I think they'll be in it down the stretch, but it should make for fun baseball nevertheless.
Always.
All right, it's time for our final commercial break, but coming up next, it's time for what you've all been waiting for, our top plays of the week, so keep it right here.
I'm Jack Wheely. I'm a pitcher for Easton High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.